Waheguru Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ki Fateh. Today in this video, I want to talk about the very alarming fact that SikhNet is purposely misleading and lying to Sikhs about idol worship and other violations of the Sikh Reht Maryada that are ongoing at Yogi Bhajan's tantric Kundalini yoga ashrams. Now, SikhNet made this video, "Why do white Sikhs perform idol worship?" in 2012. And they've never said anything different about this idol worship that is ongoing there at the Yogi Bhajan ashrams. They deny that any idol worship is happening there. The fact is that it is. Now, why is SikhNet doing this? I think they are trying to fool Sikhs and try to mislead them so that they'll get involved in their tantric Yogi Bhajan agenda. Now let's listen to Gurmustic and Guruka about what they say in this video.
That's the challenging part, is when you hear something and all of a sudden you think, oh my God, is this true? And you know, I get emails from people. They see something online and some picture, or they see some, like, you know, this user asked about idols and Hindu worship. I mean, just from what I've seen of things, I mean, somebody equates having a picture or a statue as, if that's the fact that it's there, that people worship it. And
But so what's wrong with worshiping as Hindus worship? What's wrong with worshiping if you're really worshiping from your heart? I go to the Hanuman temple and see everyone there is worshiping, and there's a Hanuman statue and all that. What they're doing is wrong. What I'm doing is right. It's still the trap of the opposites, right and wrong, good and bad. It's still that place in your mind. So why is any worship bad? Worship comes from the heart. It's a personal relationship between you and the infinity. You can never criticize that. Rituals are rituals.
Okay, so there you can hear Guruka and his psychobabble trying to justify this worship of idols at the Yogi Bhajan ashrams. This is nothing more than trying to deceive Sikhs into thinking that there is no violations of the Sikh Reht Maryada and that SikhNet and the Yogi Bhajan people are following Gurbani. This couldn't be any farther from the truth. Now you can see here the Yogi Bhajan ashram there. And let's just make clear that SikhNet offices are right there at the same place where the Yogi Bhajan people are worshiping this idol. Off to the right here, you can see this wooden building. And then this is where the idol of Baba Siri Chand, this big one, is kept. You can view it here where this 3HO person is bowing at the feet of this Siri Chand idol. Now, right to the opposite of this is I'm putting the cursor there, is where that golden idol of Baba Siri Chand is, that is next to the Gurdwara. So these are right around to the Gurdwara, and the SikhNet offices are just around the corner from that. You can see here the door to the SikhNet offices. So just around the corner are the idols of Baba Siri Chand. So that makes clear that these idols are right there at the SikhNet offices. Now this ashram is called a mandir. It's not called a Gurdwara by the 3HO people. They call it a mandir, which is a temple, usually referring to a Hindu temple. So let's see what Gurbani says about these worships of idols. Gurbani says, "Their service is useless. Those who fall at the feet of a stone god, their work is wasted in vain. My Lord and Master speaks forever. God gives his gifts to all living beings. The divine Lord is within the self, but the spiritually blind one does not know this. Deluded by doubt, he is caught in the noose. The stone does not speak. It does not give anything to anyone. Such religious rituals are useless. Such service is fruitless. Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Ong 1160. So the Guruka and SikhNet people, again, are trying to fool Sikhs into thinking there is no worship of idols, but there is. You can see the facts here. I took these pictures in 2012 when I went to the Yogi Bhajan ashram, and you can see that the Yogi Bhajan people have been putting money at the feet of this golden idol of Siri Chand there at the Gurdwara. Now, in some of these comments under this video that Guruka and Gurmastik made, there were some very good comments about how if SikhNet was against these idols, they just shouldn't be there. One really insightful comment said that if you have a baseball bat in your house, people are going to assume you play baseball. And that's exactly what the people that come there to see the ashram there, the tantric yoga ashram of Yogi Bhajan, think. Because you have idols there, you worship them. And that's what people are doing. The 3HO people come from other places around the world, and they come there and they bow at the feet of these idols. So when Guruka says in this statement, he says, no, white Sikhs don't worship idols. This question is based on rumors and misleading information. He is telling a lie. There is worship there of the idols. Now, why is SikhNet lying to Sikhs about this? As I said earlier, I think what SikhNet wants to do is they want to seduce Sikhs into their tantric yoga and try to show them that they're good Sikhs. The fact is that they're not. This appalling attachment to Siri Chand is completely against Gurbani. Yogi Bhajan promoted this whole attachment to Siri Chand, and it's completely against Gurbani. I want to read you some from the Sri Guru Granth Sahib on page 967. It says, the Guru gave the true command. Why should we hesitate to proclaim this? His sons, he's speaking of Siri Chand and Guru Nanak Dev Ji's sons, did not obey his word. They turned their backs on him as Guru. These evil-hearted ones became rebellious. They carry loads of sins on their backs. Whatever the Guru said, Lena did. And so he was installed on the throne. So clearly, Guru Nanak Dev Ji rejected Siri Chand. And now you've got this situation where Yogi Bhajan is promoting the worship of this Siri Chand. It's completely against Sikh teachings. And no matter how hard SikhNet and Guruka and these 3HO people try to cover this up, the truth is going to come out about how they worship this Siri Chand. It's completely against Guru Nanak Dev Ji and was said to be an evil one, is the way it's said in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Now, there's been some very good articles that have come out lately, and I recommend that all Sikhs and people interested in these issues read. There's a Sikh Free Press article, American Yogis Distort Sikh Scripture, which really shows how SikhNet and the Yogi Bhajan people are distorting Gurbani in order to fit their yoga agenda. This is a very good article. The other thing I want to point out here is how Yogi Bhajan himself was very corrupt and just involved in all kinds of debauchery. He used some drawings that he did back in the 1980s, which he gave me. And you can see here they're clearly phallic in nature and really represent this sexual energy that Yogi Bhajan tried to promote. It's very disgusting. He's got power above that phallic symbol there. It's very, very disgusting. So the Yogi Bhajan people are trying to get Sikhs seduced into their tantric yoga agenda. And they want to do everything they can. This SikhNet Youth Online Film Festival is just another way that they are trying to seduce Sikhs into their tantric yoga agenda. Don't be fooled by this. They give out prizes and money, SikhNet, in order for other Sikhs to get involved in this. Don't be fooled by SikhNet's bribery is what it is. These are more drawings of Yogi Bhajan, trying to get Sikhs involved in this debauched tantric yoga. Tantric yoga was completely banned and boycotted by the Sikh gurus. Bhai Singh, who was one of the Panj Pyare, wrote in his Rehtnama that tantric yogis should not be associated with. It's completely against Sikh teachings. This Guruka Singh also wrote this article about how he keeps Yogi Bhajan's nail clippings in his gutka, or nitnam as he calls it. You can see here this article, hanging on by his fingernails, a self-censory human action. This article has since been deleted by 3HO because it got so much negative comments. Guruka Singh admits that he got Yogi Bhajan's fingernails and he put them in his gutka. It's complete biyadi of Gurbani. And then he used them as a magic talisman. That's complete idol worship and completely against the Sikh teachings. Just appalling. And you can see here how Guruka in the comments below this video, I'll put a link to it in the description, says here in the bottom, he says, "No one here worships idols in any way." It's just a complete lie. Shame on them for lying to Sikhs and trying to deceive them when this is going on there. SikhNet and these Yogi Bhajan people, they don't want any discipline. All they want to do is freeload off of the donations of good-meaning and hardworking Sikhs. They're there in Espanola. They never protest against the atrocities that are happening against Sikhs in India. They just want to lay there and do their hippie thing and freeload off of Sikhs with the donations that are given to SikhNet. They have no motivation to get out of their comfort zone. They just want to do their Yogi Bhajan, tantric yoga bull and just spread these lies about how Sikhs should worship idols. They're just completely lying to Sikhs. It's just appalling. And they use their gimmicks, these SikhNet Film Festival, to entice young Sikhs into their Yogi Bhajan tantric yoga. Yogi Bhajan was just a complete pathological, sociopathic liar. You can see how they worship at his death place. They just had this birthday celebration of Yogi Bhajan's down there in New Mexico. I'm sure there'll be more pictures like this where they're worshiping Yogi Bhajan. They keep this big painting, huge painting of Yogi Bhajan in the Dabar of the city Guru Granth Sahib there in Espanola. Just looms over the Dabar. Here was pictures from the 10th anniversary of Yogi Bhajan's death. It was in 2014. They had the Jethadar come there, and I'm sure they led him away from all of these idols and murtis of Yogi Bhajan and Siri. You can see here how they're around the ashram there at Yogi Bhajan's death place. They have them there and they come there and worship. You can see Guruka himself here. Let's zoom in on this. You can see him there. This is Guruka and this top philosophical writer for SikhNet, Ekon Karkar. You can see her there, just under this murti of Baba Siri Chand. They worship this idol. there in Espanola, New Mexico, and then they worship it at the grave of Yogi Bhajan, his death place, in complete violation of what Guru Gobind Singh told us to do. Guru Gobind Singh told us not to worship at the graves of the dead. There's a lot of people at these gatherings. It's not just a few who are worshiping these idols. You can see here, these are more of these events they hold at Yogi Bhajan's death place. They hold them quite often. Now, it's not only there in Espanola where these idols are worshipped. Although a lot of this is happening there. There's events they have in India where these top leaders in 3HO bring the 3HO people and other yoga students there, and they do Hindu artis. There was even a Hindu wedding that this Gurmukh, who's one of the top leaders in the Yogi Bhajan group, sponsored. And she sponsors these fire homa pujas there in this Gurmukh. You can see her there over there on the right. And she's been sponsoring these events there in Rishikesh, the Paramatma Kirtan ashram. Now, Yogi Bhajan set a horrible example. He did these pujas himself, and you can see here how they had this Hindu last rites for Yogi Bhajan there at Paramatma Kirtan. So no wonder the 3HO people are following in his footsteps. This was back in the 1970s when he did a fire puja there at the estate there in Los Angeles with this Hindu, Yogi Bhajan. You can see him there over on the left. So no wonder they take after this. Yogi Bhajan's wife, this Indrajit Kaur Putty, and his sons and daughter and other 3HRs can be seen here in Rishikesh, this Paramatma Kirtan ashram there, doing these Hindu last rites and putting Yogi Bhajan's ashes there in the Ganga River. 3HO people completely deny this because they want to fool Sikhs into thinking that they're following the Sikh Reht Maryada and then seduce them slowly into getting into Yogi Bhajan's, all his tantric yoga crap, getting them hooked on that. SikhNet promotes Gurmukh. You can see these articles about her at SikhNet. And this mother of the principal over there at Midipidi Academy, which is the Yogi Bhajan school there in Amritsar, she's just recently had a Facebook post where she said that Yogi Bhajan told her to go to this Hanuman temple, which actually Guruka speaks about in the video, and worship there every week. I know, a Thursday. It's supposed to be on a Thursday. Jagat Guru Singh is that principal over there at Midipidi Academy, and that's his mother. This is the kind of thing that Sikhs need to write SikhNet about and Jethadar the Occult-Tucket and tell them to stop this nonsense. There's more, just goes on and on about these Hindu worships and murtis. They're also in Espanola. Now, Sikhs worship should be rendered only to the one timeless being and to no god or goddess. This is what the Sikh Reht Maryada tells us. For a Sikh, the Guru Granth and the 10 Gurus' word alone should be a Sikh saviors and holy objects of veneration. This goes on and on. There's all kinds of worships of all kinds of Hindu murtis and god and goddesses. Thank you for your time, and I hope you watch some of the other videos I made on this subject. Do more research in this, and write SikhNet. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.